Welcome into the Fade. I'm Clay Travis. She is Kelly Stewart. We are back. Happy New Year 2025. I finally had a nice win in the sports gambling universe. Good weekend so far in college football and in the NFL. Kelly is floundering. We will talk about that here in a bit, but we're going to get to this one quick. I went 4-2 so far in the playoff college football. We are taping this right at 3:30 Eastern. The Sugar Bowl delayed because of the terror attack, scheduled to kick off in about 30 minutes. Kelly, I am on Georgia, even though Notre Dame has now moved into the favorite, and I'm on the under. I love the under in this game. I think that Kirby Smart, that is going to take the air out of this game, has had weeks to get ready. We have seen Notre Dame certainly take it to early Indiana. I know that they have a talented team. I just think that this is going to be the kind of game that Kirby Smart, just anaconda style, chokes out his opponent. I feel like we're going to see a 20-13 style Georgia win, 20-16. I love the under as my primary bet in the Sugar Bowl, which is going to kick off, as we said, in like 30 minutes. But I like Georgia to get the win as the underdog. When's the last time Notre Dame really won a big game? I'm not counting Indiana as a big game. They lose all these games, Kelly. They're going to lose this one. What say you?
Floundering. I am crushing college bowl season. NFL, I said, why don't we just do this game and then call the show, because it's week 18 and it's absolutely pointless. And also every single favorite and overhits. And also I took second place in our fantasy league and I got knocked out of Survivor. So I'm just done with NFL right now. But Riley Leonard, I think, is going to have a great game. I think he's going to be able to exploit this Georgia secondary, who has given up some passing yards this year. And that's traditionally what we don't see. They've given up almost 130 yards on the ground play. And that is why I like Notre Dame here. Plus, when I bet it, I got +2. I was getting the better defense plus the points. Notre Dame has covered 9 straight games. Bulldogs just 3-9 in their last 12. Just because it says Georgia across their jersey and no, they play in the SEC does not mean that assigns an intrinsic value to the point spread here. I thought it was an egregious number at opening. The sharpest line is the closing one, and that is because Notre Dame should have been the favorite. They opened -1 for a reason. Look, Georgia's been extremely beatable all season long. Yes, Kirby Smart, he gets the nod here. He's been in the playoff and the national championship before, and that is great. But now he's got 2 losses on the season. I don't think this Dogs team is who we think they are. I know the Irish haven't played anybody. They manhandled an Indiana team that shouldn't have been in. Stop with the fake narratives. I like Notre Dame to get the win here.
By the way, anything else? I know Ole Miss plays later tonight. The SEC has not been great, just been okay. Although if Georgia wins, 2 of the final 4 teams would be from the SEC. Texas already gotten in with a mess of a win over Arizona State. Do you like it? You said you'd been doing really well. I mean, so much of the bowl season is just trying to assess motivation, figure out who's going to play and what the expectations are there. Duke against Ole Miss. Ole Miss out to around a 17-point lead. There are other bowl games still to go. Do you like any of the other bowl games, including Duke Ole Miss tonight?
No big opinion here on Duke Ole Miss. I mean, Duke has just straggling. I mean, they have nobody, including a quarterback here. That's why this line's been bet all the way up. I did play Ole Miss in a couple of my bowl pools where it's either a pick 'em or a stale line. Look, but I would not be surprised to see the motivating factor here be absolutely 0 for Ole Miss. I mean, Lane Kiffin was in there lobbying, saying, hey, let us in, let us in, let us in. Well, if you want in, you can't lose at home to teams named Kentucky, just like Alabama, South Carolina, the other 3 lost teams that everybody was jockeying to somehow argue that they should be in. That's just the reality. I don't think the motivation is going to be there. I think you're too late to bet Ole Miss if you want to, but I don't think I can get to the window with Duke at 17.
Okay, let's go to the NFL. You talk about motivation. I'm going to give you my picks, Kelly, and this is trying to analyze the teams that have the most to play for compared to the teams that have the least to play for. I will point out my team the Tennessee Titans, the team that I have season ticket for, the team that I have paid for you to come watch. In fact, you saw the only game Will Levis played basically where he was any good in his entire starting career. He threw 4 touchdowns against the Falcons, if I remember correctly, in his first start. They are 2-14 against the number, which is the worst against the spread number in the Super Bowl era. So over 50 years, no one has ever been worse. You would have won 88% of your bets if you had blindly bet against the Titans all season long. We've never seen anything like it. So I'm going to start with this. If they win and beat the Texans, who have absolutely nothing to play for, they will fall from the worst case scenario number 2 overall pick to potentially like 7 or 8. I'm taking the under here, and I am putting the Titans on notice. You better fucking lose. You have nothing. You've given no fan anything to celebrate all year long. You've lost 88% of the time against the number. If you show up and win this game, I am going to fucking be angry on a level that we have not seen before on behalf of Titans fans everywhere. I don't care what it takes. Even if you have to put the football down and let the Texans scoop and score to win the game at the end, you better not win this football game. Having said that, I'm taking the under because the Titans are awful. I don't think the defense is going to quit, unfortunately. I think under 36.5 is the play. Do you like – and that's the start. Other ones I like. I like the Bengals over the Steelers. Joe Burrow, I think, wants to finish the season in style. He's been playing balls out. I think he gets the win. Falcons, -7.5 against the Panthers. We got the NFC South battle still going on. I'm also taking the Bucks. Both of those teams trying to fight it out to win that division. I like the Bills to beat the Pats because I think the Pats are going to intentionally lose, even though the Bills have nothing to play for. I like the Lions in the game that is actually huge against the Vikings. They'll either be the 1 or they'll be the 5, depending on what happens in that game. So that is monstrous. And then I think that is all the bets that I am playing, Kelly. Do you have any strong take on any of these games?
I got to tell you this. You know the Titans are going to win this football game, right, Clay? Like, that is what is going to happen. The Texans are going to –
yeah, because they exist. They'll probably also draft Jalen Milroe because all they do is exist to make me sad and make the decisions that I would never make if I were in charge of this franchise. I told them not to draft Will Levis. Do not draft Jalen Milroe. He can't play quarterback in the NFL. I've watched these guys play every game, all right? That just please do not do that. In fact, if you want to be rational, just draft Travis Hunter. Don't take Shador Sanders. Don't take Cam Ward. Don't take
then
Carson
who's going to be your quarterback
Don't take
for
any.
this year?
Just go sign Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers or whatever and be crappy.
Okay.
Like, we're not competing for anything that matters.
That's fair. That's fair. Listen, I will say this. The Titans defense have won them several games this year. So I don't hate your pick on the under here because even though I haven't seen anything as of 3:40 on Thursday Eastern Standard Time, it doesn't matter whether it's Mason Rudolph or Will Levis under center. But what I do think is that the Texans are going to basically sit everybody. They may play a couple of snaps here, but why wouldn't they bench Stroud and the rest of the really good starters, Joe Mixon and so forth, when they've already got the 4 seed locked in? The other thing is the Texans have not been a covering machine. They went as a great underdog covering machine last year to this year, just being absolutely abysmal themselves. So no, I don't think the Texans are the play here. There are a couple of spots where I think you do want to look at teams, but here's the reality. These lines have been blown into oblivion already. So Clay, I teased the Steelers, the Patriots, and then earlier in the week with the Vikings. I know everybody loves the Lions here. I don't blame them, right? Sam Darnold, 14-2 with the Vikings. That is just absolutely insane. I mean, look what his history with the Jets and the Panthers was, and to see him go in there into Minneapolis year 1 and be able to crush. Lions covered 8 straight in this series. And I don't like betting against Dan Campbell, but I thought, you know what? Here we have a divisional game, Sunday night football. I think it's going to be within a touchdown. So I did tease Minnesota now at +3. They are not available to do so. The reality is this week is tough, Clay. It is very, very tough. Trying to handicap Week 18, where there's all these different set of variables with guys sitting out. Teams have already clinched the playoff berths. Seedings are locked up, so forth. Everybody says, oh, these games mean more. Well, these games mean a lot to guys who are looking to get contract extensions, looking to hit those incentive bonuses. Go on X. There's all sorts of spreadsheets floating around, some conflicting information, but most of it is pretty accurate in regards to the guys who need to hit Mike Evans, right? That's going to be a very popular bet. And Baker Mayfield has went out and said, I want to get Mike Evans that extra $1 million. So keep an eye out here. It is going to be really tough sledding to try to navigate. But I did end up making a wager on the Denver Broncos. It's now up to 10.5. So it's a little late to be joining this team. And look, here's the reality. The Broncos, nobody thought. I know some people that took their over 5.5, and that's fine. But nobody thought this team was going to make the playoffs. Here's a Kansas City team that is absolutely crushed on the road, especially as an underdog since 2016. I don't think there's any motivation here outside of a bunch of backups going into Kansas City and, Carson Wentz wanting to somehow show that he has some semblance of something left to play for. At 10.5, though, I think it's a little too great. Let's see if some money doesn't come in on the other side. And that's really about it, Clay. It's tough. This is a gross slate. I mean, I could sit here and say, just fade the Jacksonville Jaguars 1-18 straight up in their final game of the season over the last 19 seasons. But man,
that's pretty amazing. Hey, by the way, Do you know what the game they actually won was?
The Titans.
The game that knocked the Titans out of the playoffs. I didn't know it was that bad, but that is the game that they actually won.
Yeah, but here's the reality. Do you think I want to lay it with the Colts? The Colts knocked me out of my survivor pool against the freaking New York Jets last week. They looked like they had no... I don't even want to get into it. I'm going to get very angry and very red once again. I mean, look, here is a Colts team that has been on the kind of this roller coaster all year long. I can't back them here, but would I love to fade Jacksonville? Absolutely. You got to also kind of look at another couple of teams there in the NFC West. I know a lot of people like Seattle over the Rams, because even though the Rams started off 1-4, to start the year, they're already clinched the NFC West. They have nothing to play for. But that doesn't mean that the backups don't want to still beat up on Seattle, a divisional rival. Just tread lightly here. I think the problem is with Week 18, you want to get the best of the information as opposed to getting the best of the number. So that means you got to kind of just wait. We know Sundays are the sharpest. Well, Saturdays in this case for a couple others. But yeah, I teased Pittsburgh and the Patriots. That's all that's left to do there. And we'll see if some other ones don't kind of fall into fruition here. You mentioned the under and the Titans. I think we're going to see a lot of unders on Sunday.
All right. I just texted you. Look down at your phone. Given that we are finishing up today's show, I want to give you an opportunity here. We'll clip this and show it. So Angel Reese posted that photo, which you're reacting to. We will clip and share this. I am in favor of whatever women want to wear posting on Instagram. All right. You know me. I'm not going to complain about boobs. I'm not going to complain about ass. I'm not going to complain about legs. I am in favor of good-looking women wearing whatever they want that makes them as good-looking as possible. From my wife, thankfully I don't have daughters, all the way down to whoever else. All right, let's start here. But Angel Reese, Kelly, has claimed that she is a huge victim because people have sexualized her too much, okay? The photo that she just posted on Instagram, which is now going viral, there is no nipple that I can see, and I looked. Trust me, I'm pretty good at finding nipples, as I've had a lifetime of trying to find nipples in photos. Trust me, as every heterosexual man has, going back to the Sports Illustrated swimsuit days. Explain to me as a woman, how can you wear that and also complain and post it and also complain that you don't like being sexualized? What is the take here?
It's funny. I just did another show right before this one, and we talked about how this younger generation just wants to cry and be victims about everything, right? Like they want to cry that the sportsbooks aren't refunding their bet because the player prop that they bet, the player got hurt. Like it's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's this younger generation, then they have no accountability whatsoever. Wear whatever you want. But if you don't think that if you don't post that photo, wear it out. Why post the photo? If you don't want the likes, the comments, the thirst, the simps, the haters, the all of the above, don't post the photo. I know exactly how to get likes, hate, all of the above on social media. Absolutely. Post a swimsuit photo with me and Ariel Epstein where you just cut it off right here. Everybody riots. They get so mad. Show a little bit here, show a little bit there. Let's see who gets angry or who is happy. You post that, you're looking for all of the comments. And I have to say this. I think that modesty is interesting. And this is someone who used to wear a crop top jersey, work in a nightclub, wear pretty minimal clothing. Like I've realized that sometimes keeping those things a little bit more under wraps makes the mind start to wonder, at least the minds of heterosexual men that probably watch this program. I understand. You want to wear it. You feel great about it. You got a great body. You play in the WNBA, but you cannot cry. You cannot say anything. I mean, have you seen some of her TikTok posts? Like she's literally held up an outline after getting waxed. You can literally see all of her business there outlined in blue wax. And I'm like, oh yes, please tell me how sexualized you are. I mean, what are you going to do?
Look, again, I have no issue with women who want to make money based on their sexuality, right? More power to you, do whatever you want. But don't whine to me that you've been far too sexualized and then post the photos that have been posted. Again, if you haven't seen them, we'll clip this and we'll share it. But I just wanted to get a woman's reaction. I'll also say this, Kelly, this to me has always been funny. Like whenever like I'm getting out of like the shower at a hotel or something, and there is a window open and my wife is also there. I don't mean window open. I mean like the blinds are open. My wife's like, oh my God, people are going to see. I'm like, I don't care. Like men, like no one tries to see me naked. If people want to see me naked, like I have to work to get people to see me naked. Like that's like almost every man out there. Like it takes a lot of effort for someone to be willing to see us naked. All right. So if somebody wants to look in a window while I'm walking around naked, I don't think at all. It's funny, though, because my wife is always like, shut the blinds. People are trying to see her naked all the time. Therefore, she has to protect her nudity. You probably do, too. Most women do. Whereas nobody cares at all about me. Like, I can walk, like, right by the open windows naked, and most people are not even going to turn and look because they're like, oh, like, I don't want to see that. Like, so I don't really ever think about it. I don't know that I've ever been in a photo where I could in any way use my sexuality to advance my career. But you cannot lecture us all. I'm so sick of this about like, oh, I'm being objectified. Oh, I'm being judged based on my looks. And then you
never hear
post
Brittany Griner say that. Brittany Griner never complains that she's been sexualized and she's been in the WNBA. I mean, you're an attractive woman who is also wearing very expensive clothing. I mean, look, now here's the thing. She was just at a concert a couple of weeks ago, and I sent it to my buddy, and there was people taking photos of her and uploading them. What she wore to the concert was really skimpy, whatever. But she didn't, to my knowledge, post the photos herself. I thought that was a little creepy. They were like, oh, look, her whole butt cheeks are hanging off the bottom.
So who is this? This is Angel Reese, or this is somebody
Angel
else?
Reese. No, this is Angel Reese.
Okay.
You know, from afar, this guy was sexualizing her, posting her outfit behind the scenes, whatever. I understand that. Sydney Sweeney, you brought it up a couple weeks ago. She's just in Key West, hanging out by the pool of the house she's renting. Like,
and by the way, she also looked great. I mean, come on. People are clueless about what women actually look like if they think she didn't look good in a, like, whatever. But yes.
It's crazy. It is crazy to think like, no makeup, no extensions, no spray tan, and all of a sudden she's mid. Give me a break. Like every woman, somebody texted me today, you're glowing. I go, yeah, I got a spray tan. It's January. I am pale. If you want to look better, be tan. You want to be better, do this, do that. Like women are going to use things to their advantage. Angel Reese is clearly using it to her advantage. The problem is if she keeps whining about it, everybody is going to just lose it on her once again. You just can't. Like be who you are, be authentic, own it. You want to wear that? Own it.
Amen. I'm going to keep owning it and using my sexuality as much as I possibly can to advance my career. I am Clay Travis. She is Kelly Stewart. We'll be back with you next week for the NFL playoff edition, wild card edition of The Fade. And also we'll be breaking down, what is it, Thursday, Friday are the next round college football playoff games, right? So we'll have the Final Four for you in college football as well. That'll be next week. Happy New Year. I love all of you, particularly the women who are posting scandalous photos and not claiming that they are being taken advantage of based on their sexuality. Thank you for being you. We'll be back next week.